Harmonies and hobbies collide at Always, Forever, and Now. It's a concert taking place this weekend at the John Black Memorial United Church on Henderson Highway. The concert features the Incantatem Singers, who are blending choral music with the soundtracks of beloved movies, TV shows, and video games. Sara Jane Schmidt is the conductor of the Incantatem Singers. She joins us live here in our studios for a preview of what's coming up at this weekend's concert. Good morning, Sara Jane.
Good morning. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us. Well, give us the big nerddom fans out there are dying to know what music is going to be featured in this concert.
Well,
Where is it all coming from?
This is a variety show, so we're pulling a bit from our past repertoire. We're also exploring new repertoire, and just
you brought the music.
I've got the music here. But point of interest is that we arrange almost all of it for ourselves because a lot of it comes from orchestral scores. So we have Star Wars stuff. We've got Inspector Gadget, some couple songs from Lord of the Rings. Let's see what else here. For a couple from Harry Potter. We've got Super Mario, Doctor Who, Warcraft.
Wow.
And then some jazz numbers that aren't maybe strictly speaking from nerddom, but we just like the music. And they've been used a lot as time goes by, which people mostly know from Casablanca.
Yes.
It comes out all over the place in geekdom.
But like the ultimate sort of love letter to movies,
Yes.
that song,
Yes.
in some
Yeah.
senses. Who gets to decide which fandoms get represented in these concerts? Like who says, oh, I want Doctor Who. Oh, I want Harry Potter.
That's exactly what happens in choir. So we actually sit down and everybody puts in all their suggestions. And then Mike Penner, one of our founding members, he's sort of our chief visionary, I would say. He sees all the music, hears it in his head and thinks, oh, this would work well together. And we also have ideas for themes for shows. This particular show is a variety show. I'll just put in a little plug. Next May, we are doing a Dungeons and Dragons theme show.
We'll have to call you back for that.
Yeah, you will. So this one's a variety show, and we do have some intros to these songs, but it's not. There's not a. Always Forever Now is kind of the thread that connects them a little bit, but it's not a story per se.
Sure. How you mentioned how you turn these orchestral scores from these movies and these TV shows and video games into choral music. Talk a little bit about that process and how that all comes to fruition.
Okay, so not only choral but a cappella, so no instruments.
Right.
Although we do have our venerable beatboxer Ryan Bergen, who does an amazing job with the percussion and other sound effects. So again, Mike Penner is our lead arranger. Alison Alexander, another founding member, who is no longer with us singing, but she still does some arrangements for us as well. So they look online and they gather snippets of scores that they can find that maybe other people have worked on, or occasionally there's a score we can buy to work from. But they still work their magic and customize it for us. We typically sing in 4 to 6 parts, and sometimes there's solos involved. And then I and my assistant, Sam Parrott, as the musical directors, we go over those arrangements with a fine-tooth comb. Does this work for the sopranos? Is that leap going to be okay? What's this harmony like? And just make sure it's very singable and enjoyable.
Of course. This seems like a very exciting way to get people who may not come to choral concert otherwise out to a show. How much does the popularity of the fandoms factor into your planning for what you are singing? Because I'm sure there's some pieces from other movies or franchises that are maybe less popular that have fans within the Incantatem Singers.
Yes, absolutely. It really comes down to, what's good music in the end. That's the final deciding factor. Some things just don't translate very well. And we have no end of ideas. So it's always a question not of can we find something, but what do we cut out? What can we only do?
Sure.
So we pick the things that we think are the most fun and sound the best. And we have some diehard fans for sure. And they will even come in cosplay. For those of you that don't know that term, you can put on a costume of any fandom that you like and be a fan in the audience. We would love that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It also seems like this combination of music and fandom would make for a very inviting and a very positive experience for everyone involved. What are rehearsals like for the Incantatem Singers? It seems like a very warm environment where everybody's sharing in their passions.
Well, that's true. And the sharing can get a little out of hand at times.
Spoken like a true director.
Lots of fun, yeah. So sometimes I'm herding cats, but we sort of try and strike that balance between having a ton of fun, but also really working on the music and learning and producing the best product that we can, that we're happy to present. And but our fans are very loving and forgiving, and they just welcome whatever we present for them. And for those who come who really aren't into the fandoms, we have all the lyrics up on a PowerPoint so you can follow. If you know even the tiniest thing about Star Wars or Doctor Who or Harry Potter, you'll still get some enjoyment out of what we do with it, and it's just plain good music. So just come for the music.
Forgive me if this is a bit out there, but you don't strike me as a World of Warcraft fan yourself, per se.
Nope. I really don't play video games, but so Baba Yetu is a song from Civilization 4, which actually won a Grammy.
Yes.
Right? So it's just good music. Christopher Tin was the composer for that one. There's just really talented musicians out there creating music for these particular, vectors, whatever.
Vectors is a great way to just. I love that. What's that like for you as maybe less of a part of like fan culture than your singers? What's that like to immerse yourself in that world? And maybe what have you taken away from conducting this choir that you wouldn't get if you were conducting something that was a little bit more traditional choral music?
Yeah. So my whole music life was in classical music and sacred choral for the most part. So I'm retired from teaching now, and I started in 2017 before I retired, but it's really opened me up to a new world of music and just a new type of creativity, some new sounds, new ways to approach music. And this group of singers is super committed. Not all of them have extensive musical backgrounds, but they're very interested in learning. They wanted a theory workshop. Yay. So we did that last spring. And we put all our tracks up online so they can also learn by ear if they're not strong with reading. But we have 25 in the group, so there's a wide variety of musical training amongst them, but everybody works hard. And I love teaching, so I was a music teacher. So this is my new class of students, I guess you could say.
You all recently performed at Comic-Con.
We did.
Over at the RBC Convention Center. How was that? It was at Convention Center, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good.
Yep.
Phew,
We've been there every year for quite a while.
What's that like to sing for fellow fans, as it were? What is the reaction like from people who love these franchises just as much as your singers do?
Well, I think it's pretty cool. They love it. And this year we had the added benefit of singing for some of the celebrities.
Right.
Yeah. So, I don't remember the name of the woman from Star Wars, but she put us up on her Instagram. She taped our little performance and just loved it. Charles Martinet from Super Mario. He does the voice of Mario.
Right.
He, Martinet, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Gave us a poster. He was just thrilled, with the song we sang for him. And then people were gathering around, and we realized, we need T-shirts that have our name on them so that people know who we are, but we haven't got there yet.
Your show invite online says that listeners will get a, quote, bardic inspiration.
Well, that's a reference to a D&D thing.
Oh.
I've only played one introductory game of D&D, so I'm not the best one to explain that, but it is a D&D reference, and those players will know exactly what that is.
Okay, so if you are out there listening and you are a Dungeons & Dragons fan or know some of the lore, then that's something that they will take away from this concert.
Yes. I think it's something in the game that gives you power or energy to do something else.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. My dabblance in D&D as well, I think was that strikes a chord with me as well.
So we're going to inspire you to do something great.
Absolutely. And show up for this concert, obviously.
Yes.
Favorite score to sing?
Oh, that's always a terrible question.
That's why we ask it.
There's a song by Vienna Tang, very talented composer, called Hymn of Axiom. And the lyrics are, the original lyrics that she wrote are referring to that outfit in the States, Axiom, that was a data gathering. It was a little sinister. And so there's this sinister undertone of, somebody's always listening to you and knowing what you're thinking and saying. But the music is, I would compare it, say, to a Bruckner motet, just so rich and full. It's just gorgeous. Now, as it happens, Mike Penner and his wife, Sam Tidd, they took that music and they put Psalm 23 lyrics to it, and it works just phenomenally. We've sung it both ways. At this concert, we're singing it with the Psalm lyrics. But the music of that one is hard to beat. And the other one, I think, on this show that is just really superb is Mario, Super Mario Medley. We're doing a medley from the game. And our beatboxer, Ryan, does some amazing things with that song that just has the audience laughing and just really enjoying.
Fantastic. We can't wait for this concert. Sara Jane, thank you so much for joining us here in the Classic 107 studios and telling us more about it.
You're very welcome. So happy to be here. Glad that we can get the word out about our show. Come on out. Bring your friends. Bring kids. Right?
Everybody come on down.
Yeah.